Okay, there's a first time for everything. And Father Kevin has asked me to show you how to do a flower arrangement. So, today I've got some Oasis. This is Oasis. And this is the jar I'm going to use. And this, in a previous life, was a candle holder. And this was the glass jar of a candle that I bought in Aldi's. So these are the types of things that you should keep because they're ideal for flower arranging. Okay, first thing to say is I need to find out roughly how wide my Oasis needs to be. So if I do a quick line by there, that's how much I need to cut. Okay, so if I cut my Oasis with a knife, and then the fun bit, move that out the way, is this bit. This is where the inner child comes in. You plonk the Oasis on the top and you leave it. And the Oasis will suck up the water right to the top. But this is where you'll get a little bit impatient and you'll think, oh, just push it down. Don't push it down because the water won't go into the Oasis and you'll have air holes in the Oasis, and that means when the stem goes in, it won't be going into water. So be mindful of that. Now I'll show you the Oasis. Can you see it's going down on the one side? That's where the water is, and it's gradually coming up now to the other side. So what I might do, and sometimes you need to do this, what I might do is just put a little tiny drop more water on this side, and then see if this side starts, yeah, and you can see it starting to come up from there all the way up. So patience is a virtue, unfortunately. And another little tip is to tip the bowl up just slightly and you'll find that this side gathers water. Now if you're in the house you will actually have a sink, and you won't need to do all this, but for the purposes of the camera I'm doing it outside. There we go, it's all sucking up now. There we go, all done. And there you have a piece of Oasis that is now fully loaded with water. Okay, so the next thing to do is to fit it in to your utensil. Now, I don't know why, but one of the things I've always been taught to do in flower arranging is to cut the sides off. I think it gives you a much tidier arrangement, and the other thing is it helps it to fit into the utensil. So I'm going to squash it in, and any bits that go on the side, that's fine. Okay, so the Oasis should be about an inch or 3/4 of an inch on the top, but because this is glass, this utensil, one of the things I don't want to see is on my table is I don't want to see the Oasis. So what I'm going to do, little trick, and you can do this with anything, I've got this phormium leaf, so I'm going to wrap it around on the inside. I'm going to cut the harsh, this is really thick, so I'm going to cut that off. Doesn't want to come off, it's always the way. Cut that off. I'm going to put that on the inside of the candle holder, like this, and just secure it round. Just pop it in like that, tuck that in, and then you can see that when you put the Oasis in, then it doesn't look like the Oasis. You've got a nice leaf pattern all the way around. Okay, now most important thing to remember when doing a flower arranging is that you're looking for a triangle shape. So technically speaking, you want it to be, sorry, like that and like that. So it's a triangle. So to do a triangle first thing we want to do, and this is one of the things I find with my flower arranging girls, is they want to fill it with flowers first, but unfortunately you have to wait a little bit. So I've got some foliage, and I've got different bits of foliage. This is Hebe. This is communal old garden conifer, and these are camellia leaves. Okay, and they're quite shiny, so they always look lovely in an arrangement. So what I want is, I want the tip of my triangle, but it can't be any more than 1.5 times, two times the height of the vessel. So it should be about there. So what I need to do is to find that. So that's that. Okay, so that's your first piece. So that I've put some conifer in there, and that's your first piece. And then your 2 second bits, I'm going to put one there, and one there. So can you see? It's like an elongated triangle now. So there's that to that, that to that. Okay, now you need to do that on the other side as well. So always make sure that you cut on an angle when you're using foliage, and then put one piece there, and then another piece there. So that is your triangle. So you've got a triangle to there and a triangle to there, and then if you turn it round, you've got the same thing. Sorry, my arm's in the way. Got a triangle there to there. Okay, so that's the basis of the shape of your arrangement. Okay, I do apologize, I'm trying not to stick my arms in. So before you put the flowers in, you need to really cover the Oasis with foliage. So what I'm going to do on this one is, I'm going to use the camellia leaves that I found in my garden, and I'm going to put them in between the gaps where I had my triangle. Okay, and then I know, and again, cut on the angle, and again, cut on the angle, and put in there. So now you can see that I've still got a triangle there, and I've still got a triangle there. And the important thing is that these leaves shouldn't be outside of the tip of the triangle. Okay, so always keep making sure that your leaves are within that triangle space. Okay, then the next plant I've got is Hebe, and you can get some lovely Hebes. Lots of people got it and don't even realize that's what it is, but I've got like a purpley Hebe. And one of the things I always do before I do an arrangement is just check that all the leaves are tidy, there's nothing dead in there, because you don't really want to see dead bits in your arrangement. So I've cut them all out, and then that looks quite bushy, doesn't it? So I'm going to put that, and I'm going to put it sideways in on this side, Okay, and then I'm going to get another one and I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'll show you this now. So that's what that looks like. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is repeat on this side and this side. Okay, but I'm going to put single pieces this side. So I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to put one in there and I'm going to put one in there. Okay, so now we've got a nice lot of foliage in there, but still not enough. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to put little bits of the hebe in between, and don't forget to go around the edge of the utensil, the bowl, sorry, utensil. Okay, so you can just stick pieces in there. That's a nice piece there. That's quite full, so I'm going to put that one over there. And remember, it mustn't be bigger than the triangle shapes. Okay, so I'll show you this now. So it's getting thicker and thicker, as you can see, but it'll look beautiful in a minute. Sometimes I actually just do arrangements with foliage in because I do like the different green tones that you can get, and I always love spring because all the plants start growing and you start to see the green coming out. As I said, try and fill in as much as you can as you're going around. Found another piece of camellia, so I'm going to put that in the middle like there, but I'm going to put it that way so that the leaves come upwards, and that's what it looks like now. As you can see, it's getting much thicker, but it's beginning to look quite full, and that's what you're after. Now the arrangement I'm showing you today is a triangle arrangement, and next time I'll show you a line arrangement. Okay, so there you go, you've got some lovely foliage, and if I turn it round so you can see, it's quite full. Now that's the triangle still there to there, and that's the triangle still there to there, and then can you see the triangle from the tip to there and the tip to there? So we're constantly checking that we haven't gone outside of our triangle. Okay, so this is the good bit now. What you might find is you start putting your flowers in and you notice gaps. Don't worry about those because you can fill the gaps in later. However, one of the things you need to do, and I recommend gloves if you're a novice, you need to take off all the leaves on your rose. Okay, now a lot of roses don't have thorns, and something that I learnt when we went to Assisi was that there was a rose garden St Francis had built at Assisi, and none of the roses had any thorns. It was really strange, but Yeah, so there's a bit of useless information for you as usual. Okay, so the rose shouldn't be taller than the top of the triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the arrangement to the edge, and I'm going to judge, and I'm going to say it's going to be about there. Now don't forget, when you put your rose in, your first rose, it's going to go in the oasis. So don't forget, if you do it too short, it'll be right down. So you need that one, that's your first one. And then your next one, and if you can get the smallest of your roses, let's have a look at your roses and see which are the smallest ones. That one and that one. They're usually good for the sides. So if I take all the leaves off that, again, be careful with the leaves. Strip them down. Strip these down as well. I'll have to do some sweeping after, or I'll be in trouble. Okay, now again, with what we did with that, we have to do with that. So we need to be slightly shorter, but we need that to go into the oasis as well. So I'm going to say about there, okay, because it shouldn't go further than that. So if we go from there to there, that should be fine. Again, cut on a slant. And you're almost resting the rose into the oasis on top of the piece on the side. Okay. And then the same on the other side. Measure it out. Measure it out to the other side, sorry. And cut it there. And I'll show you. Push it in, and it shouldn't really go further than that one. So again, can you see the triangle now? That to that, that to that. Okay, so the next bit is to do a shorter one. Now with the shorter one, you can usually do that by eye. But what I would do is just have a go. But it shouldn't take away the shape. Sorry, it shouldn't take away the shape of the triangle. Okay? And do the same on the other side. Strip the roses off. Okay. And again there. Now one of the things you might like to do is, instead of having it in a straight line, is have it slightly coming forward. So can you see? They're slightly coming forward. Okay. Now, not forgetting that we've got a triangle on the other side as well. Strip your rose. Cut about that length. And then do the same. Put your rose in, but it shouldn't be any bigger or longer than the tip of the triangle. Okay. So that's that. So now we have one rose left. And this is, at this point, you have to decide which side is going to go on. And I'm opting for this side because I think I can put it in there, this side. But sometimes you get two at the end, so you can put one on either side. Okay. So that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 roses. Now, it's unusual for packets of roses to come in 8s, but if you can, a dozen is usually a good place, a good thing to have. So there you've got that. Now, I was a bit extravagant today. I did treat myself. I haven't been able to do flowers for ages, and Father wanted me to do some flowers. I treated myself to an orchid. This was $5.50. However, I can use these all the way through this arrangement. Now, don't be afraid of orchids. They're on one stem, but you can take them off. Now, my advice, always cut your orchid with a knife. So cut down away from your fingers, or you'll have your finger off. Okay, now with an orchid, this is very, very soft, and when you're putting it in, put your fingers, your thumb and your finger like that, and go into the arrangement and press it in very, very gently. Okay, so can you see? It's very effective, isn't it? So we're going to do that with a few more. And we're going to fill in gaps with them. Okay, so remember, thumb and forefinger, press them in very gently. The other thing you can do is, if they're really, really soft, and if they're not fresh, sometimes they can be very, very soft, you can make the hole first with a cocktail stick. So I'm going to go in there now, and I'm going to press that one in there. That's lovely. And then I'm going to get some thumb and forefinger, just press them. And if you're thinking, gosh, I wonder how long those orchids will last, they will last as long as the roses. As long as they're in the oasis, they will last. So okay, right, that one's quite soft, so thumb and forefinger. There you go. And then I'm going to put one in the middle there. Thumb and forefinger. Lovely. Now as I go round, shout out if you can see any gaps. I'm going to cut these off there. I know I keep saying it, but thumb and forefinger. And sometimes you put them in and they fall back out, and that's because they haven't really. So another way to do it is to make the hole. I've used the stem of a rose, and I'm just going to plonk it in there. No, I'm going to cut that one. It's too soft. As you see. Right, so that's the arrangement. That's how it's looking. and ready for the Easter table. Now, oh look, I've got 2 left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the 2 together, and I'm going to put them as a taller bit on the one side of the middle. Okay, so there you go, an Easter table arrangement. And as I say, you know, you can have more flowers in it. It's up to you, however much money you want to spend on it. You can also put decorative eggs in there, or you can put pieces of fruit in there. If you want to put a piece of fruit in, like a lime, you get the lime and you put 2 cocktail sticks in the lime and then press it in, and it'll look absolutely stunning. So I hope you've enjoyed my class today, and I'll keep turning it round so you can see. Okay, and hopefully see you soon. Bye.